Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another review. This one's going to be for Foxcatcher, for Foxcatcher, which stars Channing Tatum, Stephen Carell, Mark Ruffalo, and Sienna Miller. So, yeah, before I begin though, 10-second spoiler warning as usual for those that have yet to actually watch the movie and haven't already. Stop the video, go check it out, and come back here and watch the rest of this review. 10-second spoiler warning as usual, starting now. Okay, so 10 seconds are up, so for those who have yet to actually watch the movie and haven't already, please don't comment down below or be messaging me that never gave you a fair warning, because as usual, I did. So yeah, Foxcatcher, what did I think of it? As usual, quick synopsis, next thing, and then the rate. So yeah, Foxcatcher, I saw this on the first day of the year, January 1, January 1, or January 1st, 2015. And I watched it, and basically, I've never done this before, but I binge watched 6 movies in the theaters. Foxcatcher was the first one. So yeah, I did Foxcatcher, The Gambler, Imitation Game, Theory of Everything, Wild, and Top 5. So yeah, I watched 6 movies in one day in theaters. Foxcatcher was the first one. And yeah, basically it's about the life of the Schultz brothers, the Schultz brothers, Mark and Dave Schultz. They're Olympic wrestlers, and it's a true story. Basically, it's mostly about Mark Schultz, and it's how he became more famous through DuPont, John DuPont, I believe it was his name, full name John DuPont, played by Stephen Carell, and basically it's how he became famous and the aftermath after him having met DuPont, and yeah, so yeah. So I will admit, this is a very, very slow film. It takes its time to set everything up. It's a slow film, but it's well worth it. At times the slowness of the film does make it a bit boring. I will admit it sometimes, because it is way too slow. It does make it boring at times, but overall it is actually a pretty good film. There's a few scenes where I think they dragged on a bit, so it made it a bit boring. But aside from that, that's really one of my few complaints of the film. That fact that sometimes it just drags on a bit too much to the point of boredom, and it happens maybe a couple times, 3 or 4 times. I want to say tops, between 3 and 5. I want to say is the maximum of times I got bored throughout the film. That's only because they dragged on certain scenes. But aside from that, I mean, it was a pretty great film, in my opinion. The writing was pretty great, and the acting, I think, was one of the best things in this film, because you have people like Mark Ruffalo, Channing Tatum, and Stephen Carell, and they're used to other stuff. Channing Tatum and Stephen Carell, they're better known for their comedies, and Mark Ruffalo, he's better known for his fantasy adventure films, and again, this is a real life story, so they really did need to do a good job. And overall, despite the fact that it was a great film, I was a bit disappointed in the film, because I thought it was going to be a bit better. This is from the same guy who did Moneyball, which I didn't see. I want to see it, but I haven't seen yet. And many people praise that film. And from what I hear from Moneyball compared to this film, I don't think it is up to par. Yeah, I don't think it really doesn't seem it's up to par, in my opinion. Then again, I've never seen Moneyball, so don't judge me on that. Don't take my word for that on that point. But it doesn't really sound up to par, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, Stephen Carell. Many people are talking about his nose job, which is weird. I really do not. I'm gonna be honest and say I don't really notice a difference. He looks the same. I mean, his hair looks different, but aside from that, he looks the same to me. So yeah, but Stephen Carell, his character is pretty interesting. Many people say that you hate the character at the end, because he's just a creep and he's psychotic and he's a fucking asshole, right? And for the first, I want to say for the first, it's a 2-hour long movie, so for the first hour and a half, I thought he was weird. I thought he was creepy. Like, you do sense there is something wrong with the character, but maybe it's because he's just not socially. Maybe he's just not that social. Maybe he's like socially awkward, and there are a few things he does creepy. Then the last 30 minutes come in, and oh my gosh, was he a complete dick. He was an asshole. Like, oh my gosh, the stuff he did, dude, that was basically borderline insanity. yeah, I mean, he no spoilers, but I mean, unless you know the actual true story, but dude, he shot someone that was integral to the film, and basically fucked with another person's mind. So yeah, yeah, Mark Ruffalo. I'm gonna be honest and say I didn't even recognize him. I didn't even know that he was Mark Ruffalo because he has this like beard thing going on. You know, comb over beard or whatever the fuck it's called. You know, it's going. He's like balding right here. You really, honestly, Mark Ruffalo, you do not recognize. But I think Channing Tatum was one of the. I think stole the show. Him and Stephen Carell, kind of were like on top of each other, on top of each other for best performance in this film, because Mark Ruffalo, he did a pretty great job as well, but he wasn't really in the film that much. So yeah, but because also Channing Tatum, he had his antics, like he was hunched over and he did like he was like weird. You could tell he wasn't okay physically. You could tell that he had his problems. So, and he was like hunched over. He was like like this, like all the time, like like yo, like hey, like that. So like his performance when it came to the physical embodiment was pretty well done. I mean, overall, it was a great film. Great writing, great acting. It was pretty good, and the true story is incredible. But my major problem is the fact that it is too slow. It's too slow, and at some points it does become repetitive and boring. And that's really my one complaint about it. That's just too slow and too boring at a few times. And that's because of those scenes. They do drag on. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I give this a 7 out of 10. It's a pretty good film. Do check it out, but be aware that it does drag on a lot. It is a pretty slow film. It is a slow film. So yeah, 7 out of 10 is what I'd give Foxcatcher, and yeah, that's basically it for now. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. And yeah, comment down below on your thoughts on Foxcatcher. Have you seen it? And if not, why not? And if you have, what are your thoughts on it? And yeah, like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.